from the ecosystem perspective, 5G is coming up quite well and at a good speed. So Nokia has been one of the leading provider of 5G globally. We have about 44 commercial contracts as of now, and it is increasing by the day. And 5G is not only about radio. 5G is much more than the radio. It is about the transport. It is about the cloudification, the virtualization, the security aspect which goes into it. And from that perspective, Nokia with end-to-end capability, we are one of the leading guys who provide the end-to-end solution for 5G. And that's exactly which we are doing in India also. So when it comes to setting up the 5G transport for India, when it comes about setting up the virtualization and the cloudification for India, we have already been doing that across operators for over last couple of years. Now going forward, yes, we are talking about this the 5G trial, and in the 5G trial, the definition it has what has come out from the government. What I would propose is that it should be decoupled between the 5G technology trial and the 5G use cases, and maybe just for using a term, I would say 5G use case centers. So from technology trial, what does 5G give? It provides low latency, it provides high bandwidth, and then yes, it has to interwork with the other technologies. So the definition of the 5G trial should be to prove that that technology works, and that technology works in the Indian environment. So multi-vendor kind of interoperability and into the multi-technology interoperability. So that's what it should provide. Then it comes to the 5G use cases, which are again very important from India perspective, because we want to have those India use cases. And that's where I would say that we should somehow organize the industry in such a way that these use cases get more attention from the startup, more attention from the software vendors, more attention from the technology vendors, and it becomes a kind of a end-to-end solution factory rather than bits and pieces. So those would be the two things I would suggest, and then yes, you can have multiple verticals in that, vertical for healthcare, vertical for let's say education and all that, but then use cases should be in the incubation kind of centers where it should be developed. Because what I feel is that if use cases are into the field trial, then because of the logistic challenge in India, because of the other issues which are there, it may delay the 5G launch, and at some point of time you will match it. So that would be my suggestion for 5G going forward. So number one, we are engaged across all the operators that how to set up their network for 5G. And as I said, that 5G is not only radio, it is transport, it is virtualization, it is edge computing, and we are already engaged with that to make their network 5G ready. That's what we are doing. At the same time, we have the labs, for example, we have one lab in Bangalore, where we have multiple use cases which we are developing there altogether. Then third, for example, in our factory in Chennai, it is the first Industry 4.0 factory in India. So we have already started using the technology for implementing Industry 4.0 in the factory. So that again gives the experience that how do we take it forward. And at the same time, we are kind of involved with the industrialized with the standardization bodies. We are involved with the trial definition. So all that, once it comes together, that's where we would be at the forefront of the 5G trials in India. Number one, what does 5G give? What is different in 5G which was not there in 4G? One, maybe it's more number of devices which will be connected. So maybe 5 billion people connected to about 50 billion devices. Number two, it would have computing everywhere. So edge computing, cloud, all that kind of thing, which could be different, a little bit different from 4G. Then number 3, it will have something which is called network slicing, which basically multiple virtual network in one network. So those are kind of 3 main differences which are there. So now when we talk about the 3GPP and the standardization bodies which are there globally, they also know these differences, and they are further enhancing the security framework in 5G. So things like when we talk about the encryption moving from 64-bit to 256, then at the same time we talk about some of these security features not in network elements only, but on the service-based architecture. So these are the standards which have been defined. So from that perspective, I would say if you deploy those standards, then whatever is the security which is required for 5G is already there. Now, when we talk about data privacy, when we talk about data protection, all the initiatives which government is taking to make sure that the data is protected, now that is true whether it is 4G, whether it is 5G, whether it is IP network, it has to be done, right? So I would say that let's don't overburden 5G launches with security concerns. Yes, there are something different, but it's not that all these security concerns are because of 5G. So whatever we are doing from data privacy perspective, we continue to do that, but let the 5G launches happen with not too overemphasis on the security part. This is the, I think, 3rd time I am coming here. So it's always great to see this initiative from ET, and it's a great show. You are able to get the combined views of the government officials, get the combined view of the operators, the academia, then some of the startups, some of the software companies. So it really gives an end-to-end view, and it gives that feeling that yes, we are on the verge of making a mark in 5G on the global map. Yeah, okay. I think one of the things which comes out of this event today is that everyone understands the issues which are plaguing the telecom industry. What are the things which we have to do to make sure that we continue to be on the growth path for the telecom industry. And quite a bit of that has been done in the past, but I would say quite a lot yet to be done, and quite a lot to be done to really make India ready for 5G. So with the new government, with the new initiatives which are there, I feel confident that these issues would be addressed, and I think we would be making big progress in 5G going forward.